Hello and welcome to the urTalker Lite demonstration. Today we're going to show you how to create a new activity, or like we call it, a category. And within about 7 minutes, create the category, create 6 or so items or things you want to communicate into that category, and have it available for any individual to communicate. So the first thing we want to do is open up our urTalker Lite application. We can see here now we've got the application loaded up. And we're going to want to think ahead about what category we want to add. So what I've done ahead of time is I've decided I want to help my son communicate bedtime activities. And so I've listed out here, you can see on the piece of paper, a couple different things that we want to do for bedtime, such as bath, take a bath, brush your teeth, put on your clothes, get into bed, read a story, and say a prayer. So as we can see here, we've kind of got our activity, bedtime, and a few different things we want to be available for communication inside of that category. So what we want to do now is obviously create a bedtime activity. So what we want to do is go into our settings, and we do that just by clicking the setting key in the top right hand part of the screen. And then we want to create or click modify categories, just as I did there. In the bottom left here, we can click the plus button. And that's going to let us add a brand new category. And so we want to name this one bedtime. Okay. And then we can also select a color for this particular category. So if we don't like the color that it's come up with there, we can click customize color. If we want even more sophisticated color picking, we can click define our own color. Let's say we go with this little color right there. We can move that around a little bit and you can see the color change at the top. Just click that color to set that in and you've got your color set. Next, we want to record a sound for this category. So when it's selected, we can hear what that is. So we click Associate Sound, then we click the Record Sound button. Then we click the Record button here and record that sound. Bedtime. We can play it back. Bedtime. And then associate that sound if it sounds good. Now, we don't want this to be our default category. But we do want this to be a default category by schedule, because this is a very scheduled activity. Right, this is something that's going to happen every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we want, for our particular individual, this to start at 8 p.m. Okay? And then end at about 10 p.m., just to be safe. Give us enough time in case bedtime starts or ends a little bit late. And then if we wanted to, this little button here at the bottom is limit to permitted times. That would lock in this category during that time of the day, which would make it even that much easier for any individual to access and just have that one available at that specific time. For demonstration purposes, we're not going to use that one today. Now, we've created our bedtime category. We can see that there now. Okay. And now we want to add some words into that category. So we're going to click Done, and now we're going to modify some words. Again, we click the plus sign at the bottom left to start adding some words. And if we go back and take a look at our list here, the first word we're going to want to add is bath. Okay, so we're just going to kind of go into here and add the word bath. Okay, so that's going to be our first word there. Go to the next step. Now it's going to let us add an image from our library, and if you already have an image of bath, or if you want to use one of urTalker's 200 set images, feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can simply take a photo, and that's what we're going to do today. That can be very fast. So when we click take a photo, it's going to bring up the camera lens option, and that's going to now let us take a picture. So let's go to the bath and get a picture of his bath. This can be really helpful for individuals that want to associate specific images with things that they're familiar with, settings or areas that are more common to them. So we've gone into the bathroom, we've got our picture here, and we can expand that or shrink that down, reposition a little bit, and now we've got a great picture of his bath. We can click Use, and then once again we can record the sound for this particular image of his bath. Bath. Play that back. Bath. Make sure it sounds good, and then associate that sound. Now, the next step we want to do is associate this with the category that we created for bedtime. So we're going to use the existing category. There we can see the bedtime category, and we're just going to save that word into that category. Now we've just created our first word. The next word we want to create is brush teeth. So after he takes his bath, we want him to brush his teeth. So we're going to go in here and put in brush teeth. Okay, and then go to the next step. And again, we're going to take a picture. So Now we want to obviously be able to take a picture of his toothbrush set. And so we can see that there. And we're just going to click a picture. Now this time I want to zoom in a little bit because I want him to really be able to see that this is a toothbrush. So don't forget you've got that scaling feature built in to make that nice and easy. Use that picture and then record our sound again. Brush teeth. Brush teeth. Alright, and associate that sound. Once again, put it into our bath time category. Bedtime category, I should say. And save that word. Now, we want to add our next word, which is putting on his pajamas. So, we're going to put in pajamas here. Getting dressed. Right? Go to our next step and take our next photo. So, just going to go have our pajamas. That picture, scale that up to make it nice and easy to use, and then use that picture. And once again, we want to record our sound. So we're going to click record sound, pajamas. Pajamas. Associate that, put in our category for bedtime, save the word. Great. Now, just a few more words to add. We want to add his storybook. So we'll add story in here. Go to our next step. Take a photo. Again, now I'm going to clearly make that one a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. Then use that photo. And then again record our sound. Story. Story. Then associate that sound to our category. And then our last and final sound is going to be our prayer. So, add that word in. Go to our next step. Zoom in. We've got a lovely picture of a cross here to use for that final image. And then again, record our sound. Prayer. Prayer. Associate that sound, and again put it in our bedtime category. And that's our last word for this category. So now we've set up about 6 words for our category, our activity for bedtime. We just click done to exit out of these screens. Now we're back into our main screen, and this is great. So now we've got the app all set up, and we can go in here, and we can now see that bedtime is available for us to select from. Bedtime. Once we go into that, we can now see all those different images that we just hit. Here's our pajamas. Pajamas. Our teeth brushing. Brush teeth. Bath. Bath. Our book. Story. And our prayer. Prayer. And what's really nice is if we want to go in and sequence build down here, we can do that as well, or let him build a sentence. So obviously the first thing we want to do is take a bath, and then we want to brush our teeth. And then we want to put on our pajamas, and then we want to read our book, and then we want to say our prayer. Okay? Bath, brush teeth, pajamas, story, prayer. And if we forgot one or we want to reorder one, we can always go back and add that in. Now, once you put in your sentences, it's really easy to reorganize these. So for some reason you want to start with a prayer first, you can move prayer to the first slot, and now you can play that back. Bath, brush teeth, pajamas, story. And you're all set. That's our example of urTalker Lite. We look forward to your feedback, and if you have any additional questions, please visit urTalker.com.